Where we left off, uh, the Grand Inquisitor was in this bar. Reva's with him, okay, and they're drawing this Jedi out that they know is there. I guess they tracked him there somehow, and at the same time, Reva is obsessed with Obi-Wan. We don't know why yet. Even the Grand Inquisitor doesn't seem to get why she's fixated with him. You know, because yeah, he's telling her, okay, you will forget this fixation with Kenobi, or I will relieve you of your duties. He's like, is that clear? Yes, Grand Inquisitor. Consider him forgotten. But we all know she's not going to forget him. She's really just filing her hatred for him away. See, we still don't understand why she hates him so much. Yeah. Now the crowds. Okay, yeah, the crowds are deathly afraid of these inquisitors, rightfully so, because they're acting, all nuts. Uh, I'm wondering if they've come to this planet before, because he asks them, "You know who we are," and they seem to know who they are. So, okay, so if the people on Tatooine know who the inquisitors are, then surely they know who Vader is, and so thus Kenobi would know, right? Kenobi would know who these people are, because he doesn't. Well, at least in the EU novels, he doesn't spend all his time in his cave. He has to go to town every once in a while, and they have news flashing on the HoloNet. See, with Star Wars, it's called the HoloNet. It's pretty much the internet, but in hollow form. And so that's how he. That's not how he learns. Um, someone tells him. Someone at a bar mentions Vader in the Kenobi novel, and that's how he finds out just a few months later after Revenge of the Sith. And yeah, and then he communes with Qui Gon at the end of the novel, and Qui Gon tells him, "Yeah, it's him," and you're not fully to blame because he made his choice to turn to the dark side. Okay, so after this scene with the Inquisitors, and um, they don't capture that Jedi. He gets away. Okay, we cut to Obi-Wan. He's in his cave. This is actually kind of a funny scene. He's talking to a Jawa. The Jawa's finagling with him for some machine parts that the Jawa actually stole. And Kenobi realizes this. He's like, "You can at least clean it before you sell it back to me." Kind of funny. And the Jawa mentions a Jedi. Is on the run. And Kenobi's like, "Oh, I've heard all the Jedi are all but extinct." And then he dreams that night of everything that went down. He hears Padme going, "Oh, there's good in him." And he hears himself, "You were my brother, Anakin." He hears Qui-Gon, "Promise me the boy." And Yoda says, "Only pain will you find." And then "You were the chosen one." He hears a baby wailing. That's the twins. "I hate you." Then he wakes up and he calls out to Qui Gon, but he's not answering. So I'm thinking at this point, like, has he talked to Qui Gon yet? Is he just still trying to, you know, reach out to him and still hasn't been contacted yet? I'm like super confused by the events so far because I'm thinking, okay, is he still training? What's going on? And then I become even more confused because in a little while, Obi Wan actually runs into this Jedi, that's on the run, and that's when he tells him, like bury your lightsaber in the sand. And the time of the Jedi is over. So yeah, it's right then. It's right after this that he runs into that guy. He's like, "My name is Ben," and Nari is the Jedi's name. He's like, "Come on, please, please. You have no idea what I've been through. You must." And Kenobi says, "You must leave. You'll draw too much attention." But I have nowhere to go. They're hunting me. You takes his lightsaber, walk into the middle of the desert, and bury it in the ground. Stay hidden. Live a normal. And he's like, "What about the people that need us? What about the fight?" And that's when Kenobi says, "The fight is done. We lost." See, if he really believed that, then why train Luke? Why go through all this trouble to protect him? How's he going to protect him if he isn't attuned to the Force? If he doesn't even have his lightsaber with him, it's buried in the sand. Like, oh man, how are you gonna protect him? Okay, so then after that little chat, the Jedi takes off again. We know he's gonna fucking die. We know that because Kenobi's not helping him. We cut to Alderaan, and I'm like, wait, what? I had no idea Leia was gonna be in the show. I'm like, okay. Is this just gonna be like another story going on at the same time? Like them not, them having one story where it's Kenobi and then another one where it's Leia. I mean, all right. I mean, Leia's one of my favorite characters, so I didn't mind at first. So they're dressing the girl we think is Leia. It's actually one of her servants, I guess, pretending to be her. And the girl's like, she insisted you would find it amusing, Your Highness. She's either in the cellar, in the kitchen, or in the woods. So yeah, then we find out Leia's gone off into the woods. She must do this a lot just to look at the starships flying off, and she seems to know a lot about these ships. Like she can tell which one is which. Like she's naming them. So then her mom comes. Bria Organa comes. You had to do this today, Leia. Do what? Down. And then she's got this little robot that she carries around, Lola. That's going to be a big merchandise seller. If you behaved as well as you climb, you'd be a senator already. So I guess they're grooming her to be a senator at this point. She's only 10. I can't remember in the EU novels if she had become a senator at a really early age. I think she had, because by the time she's 19, she seems to be in this role, like and doing well. She says, "All I ever do is wave. That do more than wave. You get out of this what you put into it." And she's like, "I'm sorry, I really am. I promise I won't do it again." And I can feel you doing that. Leia's rolling her eyes. I remember this part. It's like living in a prison. She says, "Oh yeah, yeah, you're a princess. Like, there's no prison here." Workers chattering. Um, we cut back to Tatooine. Okay, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on with Leia? And I'm like, I guess we're gonna see more of that. I don't know what's going on. And Owen tells Kenobi, "I want you to stay away from him. We don't need anything from you." And Kenobi was just trying to leave the toy with him. See, this is our first uh, like key jangling nostalgia moment. It's the little ship that Luke was pretending to fly. The little toy ship in the first movie. He needs to see that there's more to life than your farm, Owen. He needs to see that. There's a whole galaxy out there. I'm asking you to leave us alone, Ben. I mean it. Is he okay? You don't care if he's okay. You care if he's showing. And we know what he means by that. Showing, force powers. He's my responsibility, Owen. I'm his uncle. We talked about this. When the time comes, he must be trained. Like you trained his father. Yeah, we see that bit in the trailer, which I think is a good moment. Joel Edgerton is actually the best actor in this series. Even Ewan McGregor doesn't seem to be putting his all in the series most of the time. There is one bit where he meets Anakin, like he meets Vader and chops a bit of his mask off, and that's when he really gives his all, I think. So he's saying he must be trained, but if you're going to train him, you might need like your lightsaber. You might need to actually use the Force to do that. Anakin is dead, Ben, and I won't let you make the same mistake twice. So leave him on the farm with his family where he belongs. Yep. Out of the way. And then cut to Inquisitors. Again, they're out in the open. They're interrogating all these people. You know why we're here. There's a Jedi hiding on this planet. We need to know where he is. You will be rewarded well, or you'll be punished. It's like, okay, which one is it? Do you want to reward these people for helping you or punish them for not? It can't be, both. Like, I don't know. Are you trying to incentivize them or just scare them into submission? You know, the fifth brother, even he's like, wait, Reva, like, stop. And she's like, hands go first. And she actually does cut a woman's hand off. And you're like, okay, this is a cold bitch. Okay, she can't be, one of the. They can't be wanting to redeem her, right? You think? I mean, and then in a little while you'll see why. I also think like I don't know if they planned to redeem her right off the bat or just decide to later on. It just all of it doesn't jive with the when once you see the whole series, it doesn't jive. All we want is information. If anyone knows anything about a Jedi, and then she sees Owen, she's like, "You know something? What's your name?" He tells her, "Owen, farmer, right? Wife, kids? My family's of no concern to you." "They might be," she says. "You got a Jedi on that farm too?" "No." "Why should I believe you?" "I have no love for the Jedi. Jedi are vermin. I kill vermin on my farm." "You protect your family. I like that, Owen." I'm like, and the actor, they could have got a better actor to play her. No, nothing against her personally. She just does not fit this role. Like, and I love how Disney was trying to like gaslight the fans, call them racist if they, criticized her at all. Like, there were a couple of trolls that came at her in her DMs, but those were probably not even Star Wars fans. They're just people trying to get a rise out of somebody and to get attention. Because most Star Wars fans I know are not trolls. Like they're passionate, but not to that extreme. So then she shouts to everybody. Uh, well, first she's like, "You think you could protect them, your family, from me?" And then she shouts, "Tell me where the Jedi is, or this man and his family die." The crowd gasps. "The Jedi are cowards," she said. "They failed you, abandoned you. There is no point in protecting them. They would not do the same for you, but you can save this man. Save his family." She activates her lightsaber. The crowd gasps again. The fifth brother's like, "Enough." So even for the other Inquisitors, she's too extreme. She's going to too extreme lengths to reach her goals. She's like, "If you remember anything," she's just ignoring him. She's like, "If you remember anything, rewards will be given." He tells her, "Stand down, third sister." She's like, "Now." She deactivates her lightsaber, says, "Next time, Owen." And then Fifth brother's just like, move. You know, they're just like dispersing the crowd. He tells her, "You are too impulsive. I'm sick of," and she's like, "I'm sick of wasting time. This place is beneath us." He says, "The Grand Inquisitor was right. You still want Kenobi, but he's gone and you won't find him. You spent the last 10 years looking for him." And she says, "Maybe you've been looking in the wrong places. What is it you think you will gain by capturing him?" "What I'm owed," she says. "Be careful, third sister. You go too far." And she says, "Maybe you don't go far enough." So that's like, wow. I mean, okay. She's even more evil than the other Inquisitors, even more evil than the Grand Inquisitor. Okay. Wow. And really has it in for Kenobi. Does Vader know? Like, why is he allowing this to continue? If so, that they can't keep her in check, you know? And see, Owen is the real hero of this series because he, like, he had this bitch in his face saying, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your whole family if you don't tell me about this Jedi you're hiding." And Kenobi was right there, actually watching this whole scene, like in a dark corner. So he could have stopped it. Like he could have walked in, said, "Hey, you know, I'm right here, bitch." But no, like Owen stood her down, stood his ground. He says, when Obi-Wan comes and thanks him, he's like, "I didn't do it for you." And then, okay, we cut back to Alderaan with Bail Organa. Says, "Right on time as always. Anything good today?" And she tells him, "A trade ship and an Aquilian ranger, probably scouring for pirates." He said, "That's what I said." And her mom says, "Don't encourage her." He says, "All right." And I got this whole scene with Leia, talking to her cousin. Slave labor, talking about all that stuff, taxation of the outer rim. "I didn't come here to end slavery, Bale. I came to eat your food." He chuckled. "Save the bleeding heart for the Senate." "A drink, Senator?" Oh, yeah. He notices her thanking the droids for the drink. And she's just like, "It's good manners. You don't need manners when you're talking to a lower life form," he says. "Then I guess I don't need manners when I'm talking to you." And Leia's just one upping him, in the conversation. That's all this is her asserting her authority. "You know the difference between you and me, cousin? I know things. My father says they never let you leave this planet," he said. "They don't want anybody to know about you because you're not one of us. You're not even a real Organa." So apparently she knows she's adopted. Like I was unsure about that, watching the original trilogy, like if she ever knew she was adopted, but apparently she did. Like even in the books, I don't think they really talked about it until later, like when she discovered that she was a Skywalker. "You think being like him?" Yeah. She notices. I don't know. She's very. They make her very intuitive, which I don't know if Leia really was at 10 years old. Like this intuitive. Like what 10-year-old can sense all these things? Like she's like, "You're scared of him," referring to the boy's father. "Your father, you want him to like you, so you repeat what he says, even though you don't really know what it means. You think being like him will make people frightened of you, but really, you're the one who's scared. You've never made one decision for yourself in your entire life, and you never will. I may not have seen much, cousin, but I can see that." Like, what? What 10-year-old says this? This was written by somebody in college, probably. Like, this is not the words of a 10-year-old. Even Leia wouldn't have spoken like this at 10 years old. And when Bale looks at her, she says, "Oh, he was being rude to everyone. He's your cousin. He's rude to droids. You have to rise above Leia. You owe him an apology. She's like, I'd rather be digested by a Jocko beast. And they actually have a nice father daughter bonding scene right here, which totally gets negated because she doesn't even follow his advice. She just immediately runs out again, and of course that's when she gets kidnapped. Yeah, the whole plot of this damn show is Leia gets kidnapped, so Bail Organa has to call Kenobi out of hiding to rescue her, even though he has, you know, a whole army at his disposal. He's leading. He's formed the rebellion at this point. Like at least at least the first cell of the rebellion. I don't know how big it's gotten by this point, but like I know that Ahsoka is following him. Ahsoka is Fulcrum at this point, so he could very well have sent her out to rescue Leia. Technically, people like to say technically she's not a Jedi, so they wouldn't be hunting a Jedi, right? Yeah, so they're sending out some people to look for her, and yep, they kidnap her. By the way, the chase is very dumb. Like you can tell the actors are pretending to follow her really close, like to try and run real fast, but they're actually just like waddling half the time, and then they're running into trees and shit. It's so stupid. It's like out of a cartoon. Ugh. So then Kenobi gets a message from Organa, a hollow message saying, "No ransom, no leads. We don't know who it was. Whoever they are, they knew where she would be. They were waiting. She needs you, Obi-Wan. We can't trust anyone else." Obi-Wan's like, "What about the Senate?" Bale's like, "We cannot let this become public. It would draw too much attention." "Well, your guard then, or a bounty hunter. Only you know how important she really is, Obi-Wan." Okay, that still doesn't like you can hire a bounty hunter, and part of the bounty hunter code is like no questions. That's the thing. Like even if you just watch Mandalorian, you know that because he says that like no questions. You don't have to know how important she is. You just have to go get her. But anyways, that's what Bale tells him. You don't only you know how important she is. If Leia's discovered, which she, you know, how could she be discovered as Anakin's daughter if she's not even showing force sensitivity yet? That's what I'm saying. Like, and Obi Wan actually does say, "I can't leave here. My duty is to the boy." And Bale's like, "What about your duty to his sister?" Which this is the part where I called bullshit because Bale was supposed to be the one looking after Leia. That was the deal. Okay, Obi-Wan. That's why they were split up. Obi-Wan looks after Luke. Bale looks after Leia. That was the deal. In case one of them, something happened to one of them, they'd have hope in another. You know. He says she's as important as he is, and we know this is Lucasfilm saying that like Leia is just as important as Luke, man, even more so. We know that's what they really want to say. She's even more so important than Luke. Kenobi's like, it's been 10 years. I'm not who I used to be. Find someone else. She'll be better off. So we know this now that Kenobi's just gonna have to leave the planet, which completely breaks canon. Like he never should fucking leave the planet for any reason. His one task was to watch over Luke. If he leaves the planet, then he's failed already. So now cut to Leia and the mercenaries. Let go of me, let go, shut her up. I guess they gag her. I'm reading the transcript to help me remember. Okay, and then we cut to, okay, Kenobi's back on, he's still in Tatooine, but then Bail shows up just out of nowhere, found out where Kenobi was, and if he can find where Kenobi is, then the fucking Empire can. Especially if they're tracking Bail. You know, he's, I'm sure Palpatine knew that Bail was friends with Padme, so the seeds of the rebellion were planted during Revenge of the Sith. There was actually a deleted scene with Mon Mothma, Padme, Bail Organa, and some other senators. It was basically sowing the seeds of the rebellion. I don't know why George Lucas cut it out, but I thought it was an interesting scene. Like, I think they should have left it in. But anyways, if Palpatine knew that Bail was friends with Padme, then he probably would have figured that he was a Jedi sympathizer, because she certainly was. And as Leia says in A New Hope, you served my father in the Clone Wars. So they were tight. I mean, I remember in the Clone Wars series them, interacting. So definitely a Jedi sympathizer. And I'm wondering if, well, no, Palpatine wouldn't have traced Bail, picking Yoda up from the Senate building. Like, Palpatine was looking all over Yoda for Yoda and had no idea where he went. So he's telling him, she's my daughter, Obi-Wan. You're going to have, yeah, I'm not the man you remember. You're going to have to be, he said. I can't leave the boy. This isn't about the boy, and you know it. You made mistakes. We all did. It's the past. Move on. Be done with it. Yeah, like they say in the sequel trilogy. Look, uh, the, let the past die. Kill it if you have to, right? You couldn't save Anakin, but you can save her. He says, what if I can't? There is no one I trust more with my child than you. Please, old friend, for her, one last fight. I'm thinking, oh, come on. Is this going to be the story of the whole series? Really? He's leaving Luke to go rescue Leia? He's leaving Tatooine? Like, what the fuck? So she tells her rescuers, my father will rescue me. He'll send a whole army, which he probably should have done. No one's coming for you, they say. Kenobi. Yeah, see, Reva seems to know everything about everybody in this series for some reason. Like, the kidnapper asks her, you sure he's going to come? And she says, he fought beside her father during the war. He'll come. He won't be able to help it. The Jedi will hunt himself. And then cut to Kenobi getting on the ship. And that's how the episode ends. I'm thinking, wait, how does Reva know this shit? Like, if she knows, Vader should surely know that Organa is, you know, connected to Kenobi in that way. And he would probably be tracking him, right? But I don't know. At this point, I'm like, okay. I'll wait and see what happens. I mean, it's okay so far. I'll wait and see what happens. Maybe the Leia storyline will only be a couple of episodes, and then we'll actually get into Kenobi protecting Luke, right? Maybe the Inquisitors will track Luke or something. But yeah, I wasn't having high hopes at this point. Once I saw where the story was going. Uh, Head into part 2 of Kenobi. Scripts. Kenobi is on a new planet. I don't think it. Yeah, it's Dayu. That's what it's called. Dayu. It says, I'm looking for a ship. I was tracking its signature. You're in Dayu now. All signals in or out are blocked. People like their secrets out here. So it's some kind of way station for refugees, I guess, and fugitives. Um, if ever I needed guidance, Master, it's now. So he's still trying to talk to Qui-Gon. Don't know if he's listening or not. He sees a clone veteran, like a homeless clone veteran on the street, going, spare any credits, help a veteran get a warm meal. Kenobi throws coins in there. So, by the way, I don't know why this clone trooper doesn't recognize him, or maybe he does and just doesn't say anything, but it doesn't seem like he recognizes him. Like he would, you know, this General Kenobi, everybody knew who the hell he was. They got stormtroopers coming in. Want some spice, old man? This girl is offering him drugs. I got Castle Pure, Glitter Stem, and Pollution. What do you need? He says, how about some information? I'm looking for my daughter. She was taken and she's on this planet. Well, if she's here, you're never going to see her again. Nobody leaves this place. I was someone's daughter once, too. Here, that one's free. She gives him some drugs. He said, a couple more of those and you'll forget she ever existed. So then he runs into somebody and says, you having trouble? And he tells there's a Jedi. He helps people. The Jedi are all gone. Kenobi says, I'll take you to him for the right price. It's okay. You're safe now. I won't let anything happen to you. So, so then he comes to this guy who's, you know, helping get people off the planet and to safe passage. His name is Haja. He's pretending to be a Jedi. So he's using magnets to make it look like he's moving things with force. Don't know why the Empire hasn't discovered him, killed him by now. Uh, Unless they know that he's a charlatan and they're just letting him carry on with what he's doing. I don't know. So then, yeah, Kenobi comes in, says, I'm looking for a Jedi. A girl's been kidnapped. I need your help to find her. So then, yeah, Kenobi notices the magnets, so he knows he's a fraud. Look, yeah, just okay. I know how this looks. It looks like he just took money from that family, but I got them safe, just a little poorer. You're not going to tell anyone, are you? That depends on what you tell me. What are you, a bounty hunter? You're a bottom feeder, a rat who preys on weakness. But in my experience, rats know more about the sewers than anyone else. So judgmental. You'll help me find this girl I'm looking for. Yeah, I'll do it. You'll help me. Yeah. Can I trust you? Definitely. See, this all goes by so fast. I'm like, wait, why is this guy helping him like right off the bat, and for no money? Like, he seems to be somebody who just, you know, takes advantage of people. But I guess we're supposed to believe he's altruistic, but at the same time he's scamming people. All right. If it's sewers you want, there's only one place to go, but you'll never get in. So he actually infiltrates this. It looks like a meth lab. So now we're in Breaking Bad in Star Wars. uh, he interrogates one of the people in there. Where's the girl? Leia. I didn't know that Jedi could bleed. The guy says, I'm surprised you fell for it. So, yeah, he walks into a trap. The Inquisitor really figured you out. She'll be here soon. Then we'll be rich and you'll be dead. Kenobi just persists. Where's the girl? She must be close. Doesn't matter. You're not getting out of here. You're not a Jedi anymore, Kenobi. You're just a man. And you're bleeding all over my floor. Well, everybody bleeds. So Leia's in there. He comes in, to rescue Leia. She's like, he's like, Your father sent me. I'm here to help you. And she's like, where's the army? A good question. Come, I'm going to get you out of here. Why should I trust you? Right off the bat, man, I'm like, why is. Okay, I can understand being a little distrustful, but when he's like, why would you stay? Why would you rather stay here? Now let's go. This would have been easier with the army, she says. Like, which might have been true. Yeah, because Kenobi's not in top form in this show, like at all. Kind of incompetent. She says, "You're a Jedi," and he's like, "Quiet. Just you seem kind of old and beat up," which is true. But it's only been 10 years, so he wouldn't be that much older. Looking. I don't know, but in the A New Hope, that's only supposed to be 19 years after Revenge of the Sith, so he did age like horribly. He said, "You have no idea what I'm risking being here, Your Highness." Yeah, fucking Luke could be dead in a ditch right now, for all he knows. And this goes on for a while, so, he could have been dead 10 times over by the time this was over. He says, "From now on, you'll do exactly as you're told, understand?" And then that's when the other Inquisitor is like, "You would kidnap an Imperial Senator's child." And when he's talking to Reva, she's like, "We've done worse." So okay, we're establishing these people have done like horrible things. So right, irredeemable, right? Right. All right. Reva says, "I found a link between him and Organa in the archives." Okay. These archives. Where did she find them? How did she get access to them? And why did they exist? I have many questions about this. Like, if she had access to archives that linked Organa to Kenobi, then wouldn't Vader and Palpatine have access to those archives? Why wouldn't they be, pursuing him that hard? Why wouldn't they be interrogating Organa? Why wouldn't they have troopers stationed on Alderaan? All this, like, it has repercussions. Just having this random character know all these things. Like, I don't think the writers thought about that. They just all They just needed a reason for her to be after Kenobi. "I used the girl as bait, and you did this without informing me," the Inquisitor says. "You left me no choice." "She thinks she will gain favor by capturing Kenobi," the fifth brother says. "Whatever power you are craving, it will not change what you are." "And what is that?" "The least of us." They call her the least of us, like she's from the gutter or something. "Yeah, you came to us from the gutter. Your ability gave you station, but all the power in the world can't mask the stench beneath." And the actor who plays the fifth brother really, really hams it up, man. I really don't like that actor. Then the Grand Inquisitor says, "I will take Kenobi and myself. Secure the city. You're no longer required, sister." And she's like, "I brought Kenobi here." So he tells her to stand down. "You will be dealt with when we return." So that's when she sends out a call. I want every lowlife and bounty hunter on this planet to know Kenobi is here. They only report to me. And the kidnapper says, "You really think those scum can catch a Jedi?" And she's like, "I don't want them to catch him. I want them to squeeze him." Which I don't really know what she means by that. He'll reveal himself eventually, and I will be waiting. Okay, so you squeeze him, he may just fucking cut and run. You don't know that you could just find him. Come on, here, put this on. They put on a semi disguise. Kenobi and Leia. He's still got his Jedi robes on, like fucking idiot. She's like, "Can I try this one instead?" "Half the city is looking for you. Put this on." "Little green kid. You don't need those. And the gloves. Thank you. Now, if anyone asks, we're farmers from Tall, and you're my daughter." "Granddaughter, maybe." We hear her mutter. I'm like, what the fuck? like Leia was not a bitch. Like, I don't know. It's a stranger you just met. You're just gonna make cracks about him being old. Like, what the fuck? Like, sure, she was um, a little feisty, in the New Hope rescue scene. Calling Chewie a walking carpet. But maybe she had never seen a Wookiee before. I don't know. So now they're. She's like, "Why aren't you using your lightsaber?" Maybe it's because you're not really a Jedi. I heard they all died. I read that Jedi can make things float, make me float. And at this point, I'm like, okay, what the fuck? All right, are you trying? In one scene, you make her this really intuitive, really I don't know, it's really intelligent person, and then the next scene, you're making her this child again. That's like doesn't have a grasp on the situation they're in when she's been raised in this royal family, so I'm sure she's been like trained to cope with certain situations. They could be assassinated, they could be squeezed for information, extorted, all kinds of things. I think she would grasp this kind of situation, like they're being hunted right now by bounty hunters, and she's like, "Make me float." Like, I'm like I was like Kenobi's reaction. I was like, "What?" She said, "I want to float." I said, "No, because you can't." She said. I'm like, "What the fuck? Shut the fuck up, man." Okay, first of all, I didn't really like this actress. Like, they couldn't have found a more petulant actress than this. Nothing against the girl that plays her. It's just the way she plays Leia. He's like, if I use the Force, then it'll draw attention to us. Come on. She's like, you haven't even told me your name, Ben. It's not a Jedi name. Well, that's my name. You'll have to trust me eventually. How can I trust you when I know you're hiding something? You think the less you say, the less you give away. But really, it's the opposite. How old are you? 10. You don't sound like you're 10. Exactly! Because, because it's somebody in college that wrote this, probably. Liberal arts college, if I was to take a guess. Look at this reward. Oh, it says he's with a girl. He'll have half of the city on him now. So, okay, these bounty hunters conversing, and they come to blows. She's like, "Who was?" He's a bounty hunter. Make sure the port is shut down. I want a garrison here within the hour. That's the Inquisitor on their calm. Kenobi is the last ember of a dying age. Extinguish him. Consider it done. The man says. There's something you should see, Grand Inquisitor. We'll stay here for now. Obi-Wan says, "No noise from that." The little droid. Her name's Lola, and she won't make any. She's hurt. So I remember he repairs her droid. Oh, she sees a picture of Kenobi. She sees the wanted picture. She's like, "Why is there a picture of you? You did lie." So I hate this trope in movies and shows when somebody is discovered that they've lied about something, so then everybody just like never trusts them again. They're like, "We hate this guy now." That's happened in A Bug's Life. That's happened in Chicken Run. A lot of things. So it's like, that's what you were hiding. You're the reason I'm here. They took me to get to you. And I'm thinking, wait, how did she come to that conclusion? Like, like, like you two had never met before this. Like, he just came to rescue you. You know, like for all you know, this could be just some random Jedi that your father had contact with that was in the area and told him to go get you. But now all of a sudden he's being hunted. Like it's a very intuitive leap, I'd say, for a 10-year-old. who just a second ago said, make me freaking fly. Make me float. That was so stupid. He's like, you have to trust me. You aren't a Jedi. Your father is a very old friend. I don't believe you. And then she fucking takes off. She runs. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why? Why are you making her run like this? This makes no sense. So then the bounty hunters start chasing her. There's a couple of them shooting at them. She ends up on the roof. And it takes Kenobi forever to get up there. Like, she just, like, outruns everybody in this fucking show. All the grown people. She's like, leave me alone. They're getting shot at. Nobody can shoot anything. Nobody can hit anything. Like, you think stormtroopers have bad aim, man? Shit. Everybody. Don't let go, Leia. And then he's forced to use the Force. Because, like an idiot, she jumps from one building trying to reach the other building, knowing she can't fucking make it, and falls. And then he has to catch her with the Force. And he strains too. Like, it's taking a lot of effort for him to even do it at this point. I'm like, wow, how is he ever going to protect Luke? Like, if he can't even use the Force. Oh my god. She's over it. And then she's like, when he ends up back down with her, which it only takes him like 2 minutes, 2 seconds to get down there again. I'm like, wow. She's like, you really are a Jedi. We need to move, he says. And then they reach a checkpoint where some stormtroopers are checking everybody. She asks them, who are they, the Inquisitors? Many were Jedi who turned to the dark side. He tells her they hunt their own kind. And this is all for you? Who are you? The bounty is on me. Let her go. Listen carefully. The entire city is locked down. It's done. You need another exit. Okay, so that the guy who's pretending to be a Jedi, he helps them escape. Haja. I just need to get the girl home. Just, all alone, Obi-Wan, but buy you as much time as I can. I know she put a bounty on Kenobi. Where is he? I don't know. So then Haja meets the third sister. Finally, we meet. We both know why you're here. I am Haja Estri, Jedi. You found me. You're as good as they say. Get out of my way, she says. Okay, if he just gets out of her way, and then she won't friggin' do anything to him. He's like, what's the bounty on me now? 1 million? 2 million? Doesn't matter because you are not get it. You're no Jedi. But you know where one is. I'm the only Jedi around, he tells her. And then she does something that makes me go, what the fuck? She does what Kylo Ren does in the sequel trilogy. She just uses the Force to snatch the answers out of his head. Like, why do we not see her do this in the scene with Owen in the first episode? Like, interrogate him that way. Or anybody else. This is the only time we see her do that, by the way. Well, we do see it later. But this is the first time we see her do it. And I'm like, wow, why didn't she utilize this power before? It's like the writers like just came up with this in the second episode, like on the fly. Like, hey, wouldn't it be cool? Yeah, we saw Kylo Ren do this, so we know it's possible, okay? Yeah. Right. So she finds out like he got passage for Kenobi and Leia off the planet. So she catches up to Obi-Wan. Doesn't get right up on him, but She's close enough to where she can tell him, I'm just going to take you to him. Lord Vader will be pleased. You didn't know. He's alive, Obi-Wan. Anakin Skywalker is alive. And he's been looking for you for a long time. And I will be the one to deliver you to him. So then Grand Inquisitor comes in and is like, Third sister, I can stand the reek of your ambition no longer. And she's telling him, I found him. We have him. And I cannot risk you losing him again. Move aside. Watch and learn. I think I'd let you take all the credit. See, I'm at this point. I'm like, wait, why does he even give a fuck about credit? Well, when it comes to Kenobi, because he's already the Grand Inquisitor. How high up in the ranks does he think he can think he can go? Because it's just Vader and Palpatine. Besides them, he says, "Who's in the gutter now?" That's right. She fucking kills. Well, she stabs the Grand Inquisitor. Doesn't kill him, because we find out later he's still alive. But it appears that he dies in this scene. So that's why everybody was online like, wait, what the fuck? This guy's alive during Rebels, which is after this, so you can't kill him. So obviously he's gonna come back, right? And then they don't show him for like 3 episodes. So we're like, wait, is he dead? Is he alive? What happened? Oh, they're yelling at Obi-Wan, you can't run, you can't escape. We will find you. We will destroy you. So then, yeah, we fade to black. The end of the episode, he's like, Anakin. We hear the heavy breathing of Darth Vader's mask. Anakin. At this point, I'm like, wait. So in 10 years, he never heard of Darth Vader running around killing Jedi? Because, I mean, to the rest of the galaxy, he's pretty intense a force at this point. Like, he's made a name for himself, you know. And that's what that. I know it's not canon technically, but the EU novel Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, he's making a name for himself. He's killing people a lot. He's the Emperor's right hand, his iron fist, basically. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this is like gonna break canon into, because a lot of this like is not making sense. Is just going to negate a lot of things, just like incongruent with the rest. Now, coming into episode 3. Coming into episode 3, Reva meets with Vader, where he says, "Where is he?" And she's saying, "We have probes out. We're tracking all possible exits." And she's trying to tell him, "Oh yeah, it was the Grand Inquisitor was killed by Kenobi. He will pay for the Grand Inquisitor." Uh, Vader's just like, Grand Inquisitor means nothing. Kenobi is all that matters now. Is that understood? Later on, you'll come to find out this whole time Vader and the Grand Inquisitor were using her. But yeah, none of it makes sense. We'll get to it. I've been watching you, Third Sister. I know what it is you seek. Prove yourself, and the position of Grand Inquisitor is yours. So that's what he's kind of coaxing her with, is the promise of the title. Fail me, and you will not live to regret it. Cut to Leia and Obi-Wan. She's like, Are we almost there? Can't you make this thing go any faster? And he's like, It's a trade route, Leia. I'm not in control of it. Can't you use the Force on it or something? That's not how it works. It's like, Oh my god. Some of the dialogue is so ridiculous. It's like, okay, I get it. You're trying to make her sound like a 10-year-old girl because before you sure as hell didn't make her sound like a 10-year-old girl. She's like, how does it work? What does it feel like? Have you ever been afraid of the dark? How does it? And he says, well, how does it feel when you turn on the light? I feel safe. Yes, it feels like that. See, that was a nice little exchange about the light side of the force, you know. And yeah, at this point he fixed her droid. They get to a place called Mapuzo, a mining system. They're meeting up with a contact. The meeting point is they get there. He's talking about how the Empire ravaged this land, you know. And somebody pointed this out, like, why, if the Empire's out there just ravaging all these planets, then how come they've been in power? They've been allowed to keep power for so long. You know, they got to keep up appearances, right? Somehow. That's why in the EU novels, like Palpatine, they always showed hollows of him as his younger self before he got all the scars and the pale face and shit. Like before he looked evil with the yellow eyes. Like they have pictures of him as the senator Palpatine. You know, because the Empire was like intent on erasing every trace of the Jedi, make them look like the bad guys that the Empire destroyed. You know, to save the galaxy. And Palpatine's the savior. So Leia and Obi-Wan get to this meeting place, and you know they don't wait very long. Like I don't know, maybe an hour went by, and he's like, "Okay, they're not coming. Nobody's coming." And yeah, the fifth brother is talking to Riva. The probes. They sent out probes, so like they're already fighting over the seat of the Grand Inquisitor. He's like, "That seat is mine, not yours. I am the next in line." I just spoke with Lord Vader. She said, You spoke to him yourself. He asked me to lead the hunt, unless you feel I should follow your orders instead. Send out the probes. Do it now. I will get what I deserve, third sister, and so will you. She says, I hope so. I certainly hope so. So we know by this point that she's got some kind of ulterior motive to all this. We don't know what it is. We don't know why she's after Obi-Wan. Like maybe she's trying to get close to Vader for some reason, but she's gotten close to him already. So like, what would the point of drawing Obi-Wan be? You know, unless she wants them to destroy each other. Who knows? So okay, now Obi-Wan and Leia. They leave the spot they were supposed to meet somebody, and they go and they get picked up by a freaking mole-looking character, alien. You're my daughter, and you don't talk. He tells her, I can't talk, or I don't like to talk. You don't talk. Got it. This is it. This is where he told us to come to. Oh, okay, yeah. This is before they leave. He's like, maybe it was a lie. I knew it. I never should have trusted him. Yeah, and she even suggests maybe they're just late. Like anything could have gone wrong. Like they'd just be late. It's like we don't know. We don't know if maybe no one is coming here, Leia. Well, if we're on our own, we're gonna need some help. What are you doing? Maybe they can give us a ride to the spaceport, but it's not safe. Yeah, I really, I got turned off when he says, uh, they left it out of the transcript, but he tells Leia, people are not all good, Leia. I was like, what? That's not something Kenobi would say. You know, like even when he was downtrodden, he still had hope. He says, keep your head down and remember, you don't talk. She immediately starts fucking talking. Hi, I'm Luma. This is my friend, my father. This is my father, Orden. We're farmers from Tall. Hey there, I'm Frick. Father, aren't you going to say hello? Hello. So she's talking for Kenobi's like the whole time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this guy has no agency in his own show. This is stupid. She tells this whole story about them being lost on a trip. Come on, Father, we've walked long enough. Thanks, Frick. My pleasure. Hop in. So right away, I'm thinking, okay, okay, they showed the Imperial logo on the back of his vehicle, so I'm like, oh, okay, they're important now. They should just stay where they were. They So they tell him they're from Tall. He's like, oh, good people out in Tall. Well, they pay their way. Listen to the Empire. They tell him, absolutely, we love the Empire. Nothing wrong with the order, right? So then they run into a stormtrooper, a little group of stormtroopers. There's a few of them. I think there's 3 or something. And the guy Frick lets them on. So here's Obi-Wan sitting in what looks like Jedi robes with Leia, Princess of Alderaan. And yeah, you know they're gonna fucking get found out. This is Orden and Luma. They're hitching a ride to the port. They're like, where are you coming from? They're moving us around looking for a Jedi. And you would think they'd have a picture of him all over the place on this planet. You know, the HoloNet is just like the internet. You can just instantaneously send messages, pictures, whatever, across the galaxy. So these stormtroopers should know what he looks like. And he's sitting there right there with his hood down so they can see him clearly. And he'd be with a little girl because he was sent to rescue her, right? His stormtroopers are really fucking stupid. We'll find him. We always do. And they ask him, you a miner? Farmer from Tom. What are you doing here? That's a long story. It's a long way. He brought me here to see the place. She starts talking for him again, where he met my mother before she's not with us anymore. Been a very difficult time. What about you? You have any information about a Jedi? I wouldn't know one if I saw one, he says. You haven't heard anything? Nothing. Are you sure he's even on this planet? Yeah, the girl said, yeah, Leia says, nothing. Are you sure he was even on this planet? And that's when I really cringed. I was like, what the fuck? Because Obi-Wan says, he slips out her name. They know what they're doing, Leia. Like, what? Why are you making him such an idiot? So incompetent that he would slip her name out like that. Like, I was like, oh my god, what? So immediately the stormtrooper's like, you called her Leia. I thought her name was Luma. He's like, oh, that was her mother's name. I get confused. Like I said, it's not been easy. Sometimes when I look at Luma, I see her mother's face. We all miss her very much. And the stormtrooper is so stupidly just dismiss it, man. Well, keep your eyes open. Report it if you see anything. Then they get let off. And that's when Leia's like, oh, you knew her, my real mother, didn't you? He's like, it was just a story. The whole time I've known you, you've been hiding something. Lying to me. Leia, are you my real father? I wish I could say I was, he says, but no, I'm not. Sometimes I try to imagine what he was like. I know that feeling. As Jedi were taken from our families when we were very young, I still have glimpses, flashes really, my mother's shawl, my father's hands. I remember a baby. A baby? Yes, I think I had a brother. Really don't remember him. I wished I did. Then I joined the Jedi and I got a new family just like you. And that's when they come in. They come across a standard inspection. That's when a stormtrooper transport comes up. Huh. And Freck gives them away. He's like, I got a couple of strays. Thought you might want to check them out. So the stormtroopers come up and they're like, raise your head. And that's when the fighting starts. Kenobi is actually doing something. I'm like, whoa, nice. He's got his blaster out and he's blasting them. He downs like, I don't know how many stormtroopers. Actually uses the mole guy as a meat shield. I thought that was out of character for Kenobi, really. Like, definitely not the Jedi way. So then the Inquisitors get the alert, that the probes found him, because the probe sighted him when the troopers came up. He did destroy the probe, but it was too late. And then that's when, in that transport, there was an officer who turns out to be a spy. Like, she's helping them. She was the one they were supposed to meet in the little valley. Didn't didn't show up on time. She's like, the Empire's gone into high alert after she kills the stormtroopers, because for some reason Kenobi just surrendered to like 3 stormtroopers after shooting a bunch of them. She's like, there's a pilot who's agreed to take you, but he's not scheduled to leave for a few hours, so we need to lay low. Wait here, wait here. I'll make sure it's clear. Let's check all this in. Let's check it all in. Yeah, everything will be all right. We'll make it out. Stack it all the way to the right. So then they're walking through this town. Her, Kenobi, and Leia, looking very conspicuous, like, like furtively glancing around. Like, obviously they're not supposed to be there. And even though she's in her Imperial outfit, she's also pretending like, she's not supposed to be there. I'm like, damn, man, these people should like check on these people, and they should be alerted anyway to her betrayal that just happened. Like, somebody would be trying to contact these troopers that just got killed, right? If there's any kind of security in the Empire. But you'll find out in this show that there's really no security at all at this point in time. So they go into a like a droid depot, droid maintenance locker thing. It's all automated. No one ever comes in here. So there's a loader droid in there called Ned B. And Leia's like, "Oh, what? Say hello, Lola. Say hello to him." The little droid beeps, and the loader doesn't say anything. And that's when the officer says, "Oh, he's just a loader. They don't allow them to communicate." And Leia says, "But what if he has something to say?" Actions speak louder than words. I'm wondering why they put this in here. Like, why have a droid that's mute, and just to have say like, what if he has something to say? I've heard others talk about that being like a immigrant thing, like, you know, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. They did have that one droid in the Han Solo movie that was like a droid liberator type. I mean, I thought it was funny. Other people thought it was annoying, but I just thought it was funny. Don't really like that Lando fucked her, but whatever. So it's a safe house. They go into this droid maintenance locker. Uh, I don't know if I would call it safe though. If they're like drawing the Jedi Order symbol all over the walls, like people will be able to pick up on this. If they just take a look around, like Quinlan Voss' symbol and shit are there. She's like, "You're not the first Jedi to come through here. It all leads to Jabim, and from there, we give them new identities and get them out." See, if it all leads to one place, then you'll be able to you'll be routed out, by the Empire. Like, I don't know if this is such a good plan to have this network that all leads to one place. Like, they call it the pass. There's a lot of good people risking their lives out there. Are they all Jedi? Not all. These days, the Empire hunts anyone who's force sensitive, even children. What happens to them? We're not sure, but no one ever sees them again. And that's when we get another little nostalgia tug here. He's like, Quinlan was here. And that Quinlan boss, who's mentioned, is one of my favorite characters from the EU comics, the Dark Horse comics. Because he was one of those Jedi who skirted the light and the dark. Like, he kind of ended up on both sides at one point, It's like he was a spy working for Dooku, but at the same time working for the council, the Jedi Council, like deep undercover, as like one of Dooku's hands. His apprentice is actually the blue girl with the head tails, Ayla Sakura, who shows up in the Clone Wars and in Attack of the Clones. She gets killed on Felucia in Episode 3. He survives though in the comics at least, and he was on Kashyyyk when Yoda was there, and Luminara and Dooley was there. Luminara died, but Quinlan Voss got away. There's actually a comic, one of the Star Wars Tales comics, where he meets Han Solo. That's pretty funny. Like years later, so like he survived, and he's been on this path helping people. I'm wondering if we're gonna see him in live action soon. Probably, if they do some more in this era. I'm wondering how they're gonna fuck him up. Like, man, I'm not even looking forward to that. Like, I'm not looking forward to anything else anymore. Disney Star Wars has just like turned me off. So yeah, naturally, the stormtroopers noticed them going into this warehouse. But yeah, nobody ever comes in here. Exactly. If somebody comes in there, they're not supposed to be there, right? And especially if you're wearing Jedi robes, like, because that's what they say. Oh, we spotted a Jedi. A Jedi was seen entering this camp. So then they're talking. They're talking to the loader droid, and of course, it's not answering. We've been compromised. We're coming to you right now. And the pilot's telling them, "We're not ready. We need more." I don't care. Get the ship ready in a hurry. Someone must have seen us. We're moving up the timeline. And Leia's like, "Is it scary having to pretend?" Yeah, sometimes, but it's worth it if I can help you. And she shows her blaster. I wear it on the other side. Gives me a faster draw. She's like, "Can you teach me how to shoot?" Leia, come and get ready. She'll make a good fighter one day. Yes, I think you might be right. As if Obi-Wan has some insight into her future somehow. I don't know. We're supposed to hear that line and think, "Oh yeah, Princess Leia." We know what she becomes later, right? So we know she'll be a good fighter one day, but they don't fucking know that. It's like, why do you do this? Risk everything. He asks. Obi-Wan asks Tala that. Tala's the officer that's been helping them. Why do you do this? Risk everything. It's like, why not? If you want to like do the right thing, it should only be because it's the right thing. You know, you shouldn't have an ulterior motive to doing the right thing. It should be just to do it. She says, I joined up when the Empire stood for something, but I'm thinking, when did the Empire stand for something other than murder and power grab? I guess she was fed lies about, the Empire being about order, like a lot of the officers were. She says, by the time I realized what they really were, it was too late. I made some mistakes. We all did. And that's something that I remember Bail Organa saying to Kenobi in the first episode. We all make mistakes. So yeah, we get some callbacks to other episodes that are like driving home this idea that you gotta let go of what you did, what happened. Officer says, "I can't imagine Obi-Wan Kenobi doing anything wrong." He says, it's just been these days." Well, Tala, come on, this will take us out. And he hears shrieking, like something's going down. This guy's like, "Go inside now, inside, go right now, just move." And then we hear Darth Vader breathing. He's coming into this camp, and he's just strolling in like a boss. And this I thought was pretty badass, but not really making a whole lot of sense because he doesn't usually kill people without good reason, or or just on a whim. He usually kills them if they've disappointed him. Like he finds that they're not actually good at their job. Like he's just like, okay, get rid of them. Or he kills them for revenge. Doesn't usually just slaughter people just to do it. Now, does he take pleasure in killing people? That's the question. Ah, maybe a little bit, but I never thought to this extent to where he just, just do it like on a whim. Now, people are saying, okay, he's trying to draw Vader. He's trying to draw Kenobi out, okay, by killing people. But wouldn't it be more effective just to torture them? You know, not just snack somebody's neck. Boom, they're dead. No, unless he's just wanting to get up a body count. You know, but either way, Kenobi doesn't come out. These people are dying. Vader's just uh, walking down the street and killing people randomly. So Kenobi tells Leia, "Go with Tala. I'll be right behind you. Get her to Alderaan. Promise me. Promise me. Okay, I'll lead them away." Okay, so then Kenobi uh, takes off. Inquisitor's like, he said not to engage. We're to sweep the town, search for others. Okay, then once Obi-Wan runs into Vader, like Vader just somehow like appears before him. Like I guess he could sense where he was. "You cannot run, Obi-Wan." Obi-Wan's like, "What have you become?" "I am what you made me," which I thought was a cool line. See, there's some little snippets of goodness in here. It's just like the writing is so terrible surrounding these lines. They're like, oh my god, why? Why is this happening? I don't think Obi-Wan and Vader should have met in between episode 3 and 4. Like, in my head canon, that was always like a period of, nothing really happening. Like, Kenobi was just watching over Luke, and that was about it. And Leia was learning to be a senator. That was about it. Vader was off killing Jedi, and they're building up the Death Star, and like the Empire's ruling with an iron fist. But now, okay, now that Disney's written themselves into this corner, they're just going to claw their way out of it. So then Leia tells Tala to go help Obi-Wan, and Tala goes. Just leaves her by herself. Like, man, Obi-Wan, what the fuck, man? You suck at your job. You couldn't protect Luke. You left him on Tatooine by himself. And now you've left Leia with Tala, who also leaves Leia by herself. My God. Vader tells Obi-Wan, the years have made you weak. And they keep fighting. Okay, the fight sucks, by the way. The choreography really sucks in this show. Man. Clunky as hell. Like Kenobi really should have fucking brushed up on his sword training. And then Vader, gives the generic line like, "You should have killed me when you had the chance. Now you will suffer, Obi-Wan." Then Vader knocks down these fuel tanks, sets them on fire, and then he drags Obi-Wan with the Force through it. He's burning up. He's like, "Your pain has just begun." So then he dissipates the fire with the Force and says, "Bring him to me." The stormtroopers about to bring him. They start getting shot, and it's Tala. She's up on a high height, just sniping them. They're like, "I can't see a thing," even though it's a blaster. You can see where the blaster comes from when it shoots. Like, it's not like a bullet. Yeah, there's a whole streak of light coming from a blaster. So they're all like, I can't see, I can't get through. Go now, go. I can't see anything. There's no way around. No way out. What's going? Wait, what's happening? And then Vader just stands there when the fire comes back up for some reason. I don't know. They set the fucking fire back on, even though Vader had turned it off. And Vader's just standing there watching as the loader droid rescues Kenobi. Like, he could use the Force to pick him up, again, like he just did, or just dissipate the fire again. But he does nothing. He just watches as they go. Now, people were trying to justify this online, like, oh, he's just toying with Kenobi. Then why would he tell the stormtroopers to bring him to him? And why wouldn't he stop them from shooting at him? Like, none of that makes sense, if that's what you're trying to say. So they're not only making Kenobi look stupid, but they're making Vader look stupid too. So then we cut to the Inquisitors. What I'm saying, they lost him. He had help. We're to sweep the planet. Now we'll never find him. I'm thinking, what? Dude, what? Like, he's probably still on the planet. You can find him. Like, like, are you guys not monitoring for transports leaving or anything? He's like, ready to transport. We have to get to him to Japim. Okay, so Tala is saying, ready to transport. We have to get him to Japim. So she has Obi-Wan. But, okay, she left fucking Leia in the tunnel. Leia's gotten to the end of the tunnel. And who should be there but Reva? Reva somehow figured out that they went down the tunnel and went all the way to the other side before Leia got there. I was like, what? None of this. Okay, what the hell? I'll be saying this a lot, but none of this makes sense. Leia's like, are you the one I'm supposed to meet? Unfortunately, they couldn't make it, but I'll take you from here. So then she chases Leia. Well, we don't know if she's gonna catch Leia. I didn't think she would, because Leia was outrunning everybody in the other fucking episodes. But apparently she does, because she has her in the 4th episode. But yeah, she killed the pilot and then she kidnaps Leia. And end of episode. At this point, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my god, we're going in circles. Like, Leia keeps getting kidnapped and rescued and kidnapped again. Like, oh my god. And we still don't know Reva's motives. It's like, are you after Leia or Kenobi? Like, make up your mind. You had Kenobi. Well, sort of. Vader had Kenobi. And then he let him go for some reason. Man. Like, why are you going after Leia again? If your whole plan was to draw Kenobi out, you did that. Anyways, I'm going to end it here and probably do the last 3 episodes tomorrow. This is exhausting.